Auzu billahi minesh-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Dear students of class 6th from Government Girls Upper Primary School, BATAGUND Education Zone, Mawar. Today on dated 7th of September 2020, the day Monday. Our topic from subject math is comparing unlike fractions. Dear guys, yesterday we learned how we can compare the like fractions. In case of like fractions, first of all, you must know what are like fractions. Like fractions are those with same denominator. For example, 2 by 12, 3 by 12, 4 by 12, etc. All of these fractions having the same denominator, they are called like fractions. In case of like fractions, you know that we compare only the numerator. The fraction having the greater numerator will be the greater fraction, and the fraction having the smaller numerator will be the smaller fraction. So in this case, 4 by 12 is the greater fraction and 2 by 12 is the smaller fraction. But what about unlike fractions? Today we are going to learn how can we compare the unlike fractions. Dear guys, consider these fractions here: 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, and 1 by 5. All of these fractions are having the denominator different, so they are called the unlike fractions. But in this case, the numerator of all these is same. How can we find these fractions? Let us represent them by these figures. This is our whole. The fraction is 1 by 2. That means we have to divide it into two equal parts and color one of it. Then we have again a whole, and this is divided into three equal parts and color one part. And similarly, this is 1 by 4 and this is 1 by 5. Now you have to say which fraction is greater and which is smaller. Here is question: which fraction is greater and which is smaller? In this case, you would not be able to say which one is greater or which one is smaller, but this representation of these fractions by these figures, you will easily say which one is greater and which one is smaller fraction. For example, this is a chocolate. You will get 1 by 2 out of this chocolate. From this chocolate you will get 1 by 3, from this 1 by 4 and 1 by 5. If you are asked from which chocolate you have got the more share, we can easily say that 1 by 2, that is this chocolate which was only divided into two parts, and the chocolate which was divided into 5 equal parts, you got the fifth part of that. In this you have got the smaller portion, and in this you have got the larger portion. So the 1 by 2 represents more, 1 by 5 represents smaller of all these fractions. Or we can say 1 by 2 is the greater fraction of all these, and 1 by 5 is the smaller fraction of all these. Here we see that 1 by 2 represents more than all the other fractions. 1 by 2 represents more, that you can see easily here. It is the greater part than this part, this and this. So 1 by 2 is greater of all, and the 1 by 5 represents the smaller of these. You can see that these shaded portions are greater than this 1 by 5th part. So the 1 by 5 represents the smaller portion that all the other portions than all the other portions. So 1 by 5 is smaller than all. But in this case we were having the same numerator and different denominators. Now consider these fractions: 2 by 3 and 3 by 4. They are also unlike fractions, and these are also unlike fractions. But in this case, when we have such a problem that the two unlike fractions are having different numerators as well as different denominators, how we can compare these fractions, or how we can see which one of these is greater or which one of these is smaller? For that, we have to take on the equivalent fractions of both. these fractions, and then choose the equivalent fraction of both which are having the same denominator. If we take the equivalent fractions of 2 by 3, dear guys, I have already told you that when we are going to make the equivalent fractions of a fraction, we have to multiply its numerator and denominator by the same digit. First of all, if we will multiply this by 2, we will get this fraction, they are equivalent. And if we multiply it by 3, we will get this fraction, it is also equivalent fraction. Multiplying by 4, multiplying by 5, multiplying by 6, you will get so many equivalent fractions of this 2 by 3. Now also find the equivalent fractions of 3 by 4. Same way, multiplying both numerator and denominator by the same digit. Multiplying by 2, we would get 6 by 8, by 3, 9 by 12, by 4, 12 by 16, by 5, 15 by 20, by 6, by 7, by 8, so many equivalent fractions we can get. We have to choose the equivalent fraction of both with the same denominator. If here you will see that both of them having the same denominator is 12, 8 by 12 of this and 9 by 12 of this. These are the two equivalent fractions of the two numbers with the same denominator. Thus, equivalent fraction of 2 by 3 and 3 by 4 with the same denominator, that is 12. Same denominator of both is 12, or here it is 8 by 12 and then it is 9 by 12 respectively. That means 2 by 3 is equivalent denominator with 12 is 8 by 12, and that of 3 by 4 is 9 by 12. That is 2 by 3 is also equal to 8 by 12 and 3 by 4 is also equal to 9 by 12. Since these equivalent denominators are both the fractions, 9 by 12 is greater than 8 by 12. While taking the equivalent fractions of these two fractions with the same denominator, the denominator of 3 by 4, which is 9 by 12, is having the greater numerator than the equivalent fraction of the 2 by 3 with the 8 as numerator. 9 by 12 is greater than 8 by 12. Therefore, the equivalent fraction of 9 by 12, which is here 3 by 4, is also greater than 2 by 3. So, when in case of fractions having different numerators and different denominators, if we have to compare them, how can we compare them? We have first of all taken the equivalent fractions of both the fractions with the same denominator and then compare the numerator of the two fractions. We will be able to say which of them is greater and which of them is smaller. So dear guys, when there are unequal fractions, unlike fractions with different numerators and different denominators, first of all we have to convert them into like fractions with the same denominator. Then it is easy for us to compare the two by comparing their numerators. Hope you have followed me. If any problem, contact me on my number. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.